Hi, I'm Laura. I'm the CEO of VMV Hypoallergenics. We're here to save the world's skin by making the safest, most proven effective care on the planet. And we do that by basically allergen emission, first and foremost. We take the top 109 current count contact allergens as published by independent sources who are specialists in contact dermatitis, and we take them out of the formulation. We have a VH rating system like that on all of our products that shows VH meaning validated hypoallergenic, patch tested, raw materials have been patch tested, etc., etc. And the number that follows shows how many allergens are not in a formulation over the total count of current contact allergens. So something like this is VH minus 109 over 109. So it has none of the top contact allergens. If that product contained one of the allergens or some allergens, the VH rating would be lower, like VH minus 108 or whatever. And there would be an asterisk that corresponds to the ingredients list, where you would see the asterisk of the allergen, which would also be underlined so you can't miss it. The reason being is it's highly unlikely that you would patch test positive for all 109 top contact allergens. So if a product does contain an allergen, but it's not one that you patch tested positive for, you can still use the product. The way that we ensure most proven effective is basically by publishing our clinical studies. Thanks to my mom, who's our founding dermatopathologist, who herself has 200-something studies, we have over 75, 80 published in peer-reviewed journals around the world. She has many more. She's one of those big-brained, old-guard dermatologists, dermatopathologists, and a lot of her work either has gone into VMV or has been on VMV products themselves. Today, I'm going to be giving you the skinny on one of our all-time absolute best-selling, most favorite products, which is Know It Oil, our organic virgin coconut oil that crucially is also clinically published. Before I get into that, please don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also click the notification bell. We've also got loads and loads of content, free articles up on vmvinskin.com, which is our blog. And all of our products you can purchase at vmvhypoallergenics.com internationally or vmvhypoallergenics.ph in the Philippines. And if you're looking for VMV in your country, we have our distributors listed there as well. Getting into Know It Oil, our organic virgin coconut oil, the most important thing really about this oil that I think really merits emphasis is it is a clinically published organic virgin coconut oil. Now, there are many, many studies that are randomized, double-blind, or there are lab studies or clinical studies. There are many of them that are published and have been for years and years and years, all around the world in so many different journals, which is wonderful and really underscores how reliable these studies are with regards to virgin coconut oil. But the fact that this is the particular oil that was used in published studies in peer-reviewed journals makes it really, really unique. My mother was really intrigued with the concept of virgin coconut oil and met Dr. Kabara, who is sort of the forefather of Monolaurin, which is from virgin coconut oil. And when she met him, she said, I would love to do more clinical studies and specific to the skin and not just in a lab. So she went ahead and did that. And if you look her up, she has a lot of clinical studies, or if you look her up, a lot of the clinical studies that are published in peer-reviewed journals that are randomized, double-blind, and on skin, for example, are hers. And that's this particular oil. So while many virgin coconut oils are actually really, really good, and they use many of those studies that are published as justification for their claims, there is no other oil that we know of that has clinical studies done on it in particular that have been published, or certainly published as many times. In fact, what you're seeing on the label that I keep pointing to is an abstract of but one of them that is cited regularly, called Novel Antibacterial and Emollient Effects of Coconut and Virgin Olive Oils in Adult Atopic Dermatitis. And that's just one of them. So that's one of the key things why people really like Nowood oil as a virgin coconut oil, and why it's so frequently used even in hospital settings. In the pandemic, frontliners have been using it, to help disinfect their hands as well as up their noses and on their ears. We have a study ongoing on virgin coconut oil to help with mild to moderate cases of COVID. So really cool stuff. And we hear of it regularly used by doctors in hospital settings to massage people who are bedridden for long amounts of time, to help prevent bed sores, to help with barrier repair, to help with generalized infections, let's say from herpes, etc., etc. Of course, this is something you need to check with your doctor if you have an infectious disease or something else that needs to be managed, but we definitely hear of it from doctors, and we see case studies that are published about it, so all pretty cool. Another really key thing about this product is that it is certified organic by multiple certifying bodies of organicity in different countries. Organicity is really cool. For us in particular, we really try to prioritize non-allergenicity first because our number one client has contact dermatitis, possibly atopic dermatitis, psoriasis, rosacea, skin with barrier defect, etc. So our top priority is non-allergenic, right? Then we will also try to prioritize as much as possible things that are organic. We have a great live stream that talks about the difference between natural, which actually doesn't mean much because it's not regulated, and organic, which is regulated and certified, and hypoallergenic. They're not always the same thing. You can have something that is organic, lavender, ilang-ilang, it's still a top contact allergen. So we won't just use organic things. We will prioritize non-allergens, but in the lucky cosmos meeting in the most beautiful way, miracle, virgin coconut oil is a non-allergen that is also certified organic. The other key thing to know here is that this comes from my mother's farm. It's a small farm on the island of Leyte in the Philippines. And the important thing about that, there are a few things. One of the important things about that is it is very controlled. So we have sort of from soup to nuts, as it were, it actually works, control over the environment, the organicity of the farm itself and how this oil is grown and how it's handled. So we're sure it's not put in, stored with, mixed with allergens, which is really important for our products. Another thing to know about that farm is it's a cooperative farm. So it provides free education and other support to the community around it. And we help teach on organicity, and in times of catastrophe, times of typhoons and other issues, we provide aid, medical missions and whatnot. And it's become a bit of a natural animal sanctuary. The oil is first and cold pressed, so it's about as fresh from the tree as possible. Pressed very soon from harvesting. We don't even use centrifuge, which can generate just enough heat to be problematic. The more processing that's involved in this for virgin coconut oil, the more potential loss of important phytochemicals. So we make sure it's really, really hardly any processing at all and extremely manual, which makes it really not efficient from a manufacturing or production point of view, because it takes many more nuts to make one bottle of Nowood oil than it would if you used machines, or if you used heat, or if you used enzymes or other methods to extract a lot more of the oil a lot more quickly. We don't do that for this oil because key here is really the purity of it, as many of the phytochemicals intact as possible. And I said nut earlier. That's actually incorrect. A coconut is not a nut. It is a drupe. So what is wonderful about virgin coconut oil is it has fatty acids that are native to skin. So it's really quite wonderful on the skin, and it actually doesn't feel all that greasy. It goes on. This is another, I poured it into another bottle because we have this coconut oil all over the house, right? So I will often sort of put it in whatever bottle's handy. That's what it looks like. And if I apply it on my skin, right, you'll see an initial sort of shine there. But here, you can even wait. It's just, it doesn't even last that long, and it's kind of gone already. There. Pretty much completely gone, the shine and whatever. So it's not greasy at all. It disappears very quickly into the skin. And it's a wonderful, wonderful intensive moisturizer for skin. It has some occlusivity, some occlusion properties. So it's great to provide a bit of a barrier to the skin, a bit of occlusion, which is important for skin that needs to really lock in moisture. It creates sort of a palisade on top of the skin to help with that barrier effect, to help with the occlusion, to help lock in the moisture, and crucially to help repair skin that has had some barrier dysfunction or barrier defect, which can be much more common than you think in certain skin conditions, everything from eczema or atopic dermatitis to psoriasis to just really, really dry skin to just skin that's become very irritated because of the pandemic and all our exposure to really important and absolute must disinfectants and bleaches and alcohols and things like that. It's so good as an oil. It can help repair and help strengthen cell wall. It provides a good balance in saturated fats for the cell wall of our cells, which is really, really crucial for skin and beyond. It can even help, reduce the look of photoaging and effects of oxidation. It's a wonderful anti-inflammatory. So it can help reduce inflammation, help calm stressed skin, and help replace lost lipids. So as a moisturizer, it's kind of unparalleled in its ability to lock in moisture, help replace lost lipids, to help strengthen the cell wall, and its fatty acids are native to skin. Plus, it provides a bit of that occlusion, a bit of that barrier repair. Also, it has several studies on how it's a great disinfectant, broad-spectrum antimicrobial, antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, protozoal, antifungal. So especially for skin with that barrier defect or with compromised immune systems, atopic skin also with lots of cracks, it can really help prevent colonization by certain bacteria or certain organisms that can then cause more problems. And crucially, it is non-comedogenic. So there's a little bit of stuff here to get into. Something that is a comedogen or a comedogen clogs a pore, right? And keeps clogging it, etc., until there's a thickening or a comedone. Acne occurs when there's inflammation and possible infection, etc. So coconut oil does not either clog the pore and is not an allergen, so it's not an acnegen, it doesn't irritate or inflame. In fact, it's an anti-inflammatory, as we discussed earlier. And in terms of possible infection, it's great at helping to disinfect. So it actually can work against acne. The reports on coconut oil being comedogenic are often based on really old studies done in the 1970s on rabbit ears using a method called rabbit ear assays that even in the 70s weren't so consistent and have since been superseded by newer methodology that's really good by Dr. Drelos et al. That you can look into. And coconut oil is not, or at least virgin coconut oil, this pure virgin coconut oil, cold, first pressed, is non-comedogenic and non-acnegenic. It is in fact an antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory. It's also great in food. It's rich in saturated fats, but not all saturated fat is bad, right? Like anything in our diets and nutrition, it is balance that we need to look into. We need both saturated and unsaturated fats. Be careful with unsaturated fats because some of them might have trans fats because they're partially hydrogenated. Partial hydrogenation was invented in part to help less stable oils mimic coconut oil's stability, how it turns solid to liquid really well. And partial hydrogenation was created in part to help other oils mimic that stability, which of course has then resulted in trans fats, which we really want to avoid. But so having coconut oil as a cooking oil is really phenomenal. We have a good live stream on that where we respond to a recent article about the dangers of coconut oil in foods. And we have other live streams and a lot of other posts and content to help you understand more about virgin coconut oil in your food. It's such a healthy oil. that arguably, even against all other vegetable oils, unsaturated vegetable oils that might be partially hydrogenated, even cheapo, non-organic coconut oil is a good idea for cooking. For your bullet coffee, for your salad, then you might want to opt for no oil, really pure, organic, first cold-pressed coconut oil. So when we're talking about saturated fats, not all being the same, for example, unlike butter or meats, virgin coconut oil is cholesterol-free and anti-inflammatory. That doesn't mean that butter and meats it's just always bad, but maybe you do need less of that. But coconut oil is not the same thing and is actually rather heart healthy. But again, as in anything in life, balance, balance, balance. So wonderful on your skin, on your nails, for oil swishing in the mouth, because of the antimicrobial properties, it can actually potentially be an anti-carie and help prevent cavities. I haven't seen clinical studies published on that yet, but the science would seem to go in that direction and support that theory. It does help with mouth sores, and so doing that can help. Certainly, our study now versus COVID includes gargling with it and swallowing with it. It's also often added to newborn formulas to help with babies, particularly premature babies or babies that need more help with development. Great on your hair. A nice intensive hydration treatment is to put it on your hair even while it's wet and then wrap it in either cling wrap, or if you're allergic to acrylates and that really bothers you, in a pale or white or unbleached non-stretchy cloth, and to leave it on for about 20 minutes and then rinse it off. Also really wonderful for curly hair to keep those oils in, and also for curling and twisting. It is a wonderful natural laxative. It's also safe enough to be used on the mucosa in the genital areas. It can be used as a vaginal wash, and it won't upset the natural microbiome that we have down there, and can help with irritations that might be there currently present because of other vaginal washes or because of allergens in your laundry soap or underwear. And we've even heard people use it to get gum out of hair. It's really used for a lot of things. For our disinfection protocol in our clinic and in our plant, this virgin coconut oil actually plays a key part. What we do is we wash with a liquid soap with SLS or SLES, which are also antimicrobial coconut oil derivatives, and then we'll apply monolaurin, our monolaurin gel, over the hands up into the elbows, and then we'll apply virgin coconut oil up the nostrils. You rub it because it's important. That's how you break down the fatty acids on the outer parts of the ear, and then it is in the mouth and swished around, and then gargled, and then swallowed. And then it's put on the hands up in the elbows, under the nails, etc. So it's very good for that as well. And this particular oil is in most of the products that we make. Most of our moisturizers, hair care, cleansers even, makeup even, our eyeshadows, lipsticks. It's really wonderful. You know what all comes in this big old bottle? But also in this really handy take anywhere, super great if you're, a lot of our frontliner friends love it because they keep it in their pockets, tiny little portable bottle. And then it also comes in a big old tub. I don't have any on me, but a big tub. And then it's also the same oil that is in Oils Well from our Grandma Mini line. And this one contains monolaurin in addition to the virgin coconut oil. What to do if your coconut oil has buttered because it's cold is to just use it. You could either put the container in some warm water or run it under hot water and it'll just liquefy normally. But you can actually just scoop the solidified butter and use it as normal because it liquefies upon contact with skin immediately. And in fact, a really nice trick, and I discuss it in a video about caring for eczema, a really nice tip that my mother, who's the dermatopathologist who sees a lot of people with atopic dermatitis, a nice tip that she has for her patients with atopic dermatitis or psoriasis, etc., is when there's like a fear of a flare-up sort of percolating. So apply virgin coconut oil followed by Boo Boo Balm. Apply it well over the affected area and then wrap either cling wrap or white or pale, natural, unbleached, uncolored, non-stretchy material around it and leave it on overnight as an intensive barrier repair occlusion hyper moisturization treatment. That's it. That's a skinny on our clinically published organic virgin coconut oil, Know It oil, which is also in a bunch of our other products, and that we definitely use in all of our facials and a lot of our clinical treatments too. Definitely comment with what else you use Know It oil for, because I love hearing this stuff. The gum and hair thing was a great tip. And ask us any questions that you might have. Certainly share this with someone if you think this is helpful, and let us know what other topics you'd like us to cover in our live streams or in our videos. Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And yeah, let us know what else you'd like to know. Thank you very much. I hope this was helpful.